Feeling lost in life is one of the most uncomfortable human experiences. It is the sense that direction has slipped through your hands, that purpose feels distant, and that the path ahead is blurred no matter how hard you stare at it. The Bible does not dismiss this feeling or shame it. Instead, it treats feeling lost as a deeply human season, one that appears again and again in the lives of people God was actively working through. Scripture shows that feeling lost is not the same as being abandoned. Many of the people God used most powerfully experienced long stretches of confusion, delay, and uncertainty. Feeling lost is often a sign that something old has ended, but something new has not yet been revealed. It is a transition space, not a failure state. The Bible often describes this feeling through imagery of wilderness, exile, or waiting. The wilderness is not punishment, it is preparation. When the Israelites wandered, it was not because God forgot them. It was because dependence had to replace familiarity. In familiar places, people rely on habit. In unfamiliar places, they learn trust. Feeling lost strips away false certainty and forces the heart to ask deeper questions about what it is really leaning on. One of the most difficult truths Scripture teaches is that God rarely gives full clarity all at once. Instead, He gives enough light for the next step. When people feel lost, it is often because they are demanding a full map when God is offering daily guidance. The Bible emphasizes walking, not arriving. Walking requires trust moment by moment. Wanting the destination before the journey is what makes the waiting feel unbearable. The Psalms are filled with honest expressions of disorientation. Writers openly admit feeling forgotten, confused, and directionless. Yet these expressions are not condemned. They are preserved. This tells us something important. God does not require you to feel certain in order to stay connected to Him. He invites honesty, not performance. Feeling lost does not disqualify you from faith. It often deepens it. The Bible also reveals that feeling lost can be internal even when life looks fine externally. People can have structure, success, and routine, yet still feel disconnected from meaning. Scripture addresses this by separating purpose from productivity. Purpose is not defined by motion alone. You can be busy and still be lost. That is why the Bible repeatedly calls people to stillness, not inactivity but reflection. Stillness reveals what movement hides. Another reason people feel lost is because identity has been tied to outcomes rather than calling. When goals collapse or timelines break, identity begins to shake. The Bible redirects identity away from circumstances and toward relationship. It teaches that who you are is not decided by where you are. Feeling lost does not mean you are failing your purpose. It may mean your purpose is being reshaped. Scripture also acknowledges that feeling lost often intensifies during seasons of waiting. Waiting feels passive, but biblically it is active trust. Waiting trains endurance. It stretches patience. It exposes what you believe about God's timing. The Bible never presents waiting as wasted time. It presents it as formative time. What grows in waiting often determines what survives in fulfillment. The Bible also makes it clear that guidance often follows obedience, not the other way around. People want clarity before action, but Scripture shows people moving first, then receiving direction. This is uncomfortable because it removes control. Feeling lost becomes less overwhelming when obedience replaces certainty. You may not know where the road ends, but you know the next right step. Feeling lost can also be the result of shedding an old version of yourself. Growth requires loss. The Bible describes transformation as death before resurrection. Old mindsets, habits, and identities do not disappear quietly. They resist. The confusion you feel may be the friction of becoming someone new. Scripture treats this discomfort as necessary, not accidental. Most importantly, the Bible frames feeling lost as temporary. It never presents confusion as the final chapter. God's guidance is often clearer in hindsight than in the moment. What feels like wandering often turns out to be alignment. What feels like delay often turns out to be protection. The Bible does not promise a life without seasons of feeling lost. It promises presence within them. God does not wait for you to find your way before walking with you. He walks with you while the way is being revealed. Feeling lost is not the absence of purpose. It is often the moment just before purpose becomes clearer, deeper, and more honest than before.